USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams urging Americans to keep following the 30-day White House guidelines to slow the spread of coronavirus. He says social distancing will be key to getting a control of it. But he also had some hopeful news in an appearance on this morning's NBC Today show.
I know that I helped America understand this was going to be a hard and a tough week, but I also wanted them to understand that we've had hard weeks. We've had hard times in our country before, and we've come together, and America is coming together to battle this disease, and we are starting to see progress.
An encouraging milestone reached in China, where the pandemic began, with no new coronavirus deaths reported yesterday on its mainland for the first time since January. This morning has seen a second straight day of strong early gains on Wall Street, and this is USA Radio News.
Hi, this is Wayne Allen Root, and do I have a perfect book at the perfect time for you? Dr. Nancy Wolfe is a conservative and capitalist professor emeritus in the psychology department at UCLA, where she spent 30 years. She studied and taught about the human mind. She knows exactly what we need to hear right now as chaos and crisis descend around us. Her book is Conscious Matrix. Nancy explains why the liberals, socialists, and globalists try to destroy us right now will not and cannot succeed, because we as Americans are wired to win, to be the greatest nation and the greatest people ever in the history of mankind. Our biology, our history, our culture, all these things are pre-wired in our minds and souls. We're literally pre-wired to win. Nancy says we have more light in our hearts and minds when we are right with God. And she says together, God, President Trump, and conservative Americans will save the soul of America. We will win. We are literally predestined to win. This is the book you need to read now, today. Purchase Conscious Matrix at LibertyHillPublishing.com. Conscious Matrix at LibertyHillPublishing.com, or available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
The White House press secretary is out of that job, though Stephanie Grisham is not going very far. Grisham is now going to be First Lady Melania Trump's chief of staff. She worked for the First Lady previously, but never held a single televised news conference during her brief tenure as President Trump's chief spokesperson. With a new White House chief of staff aboard, a communications shakeup was said to be afoot. Former North Carolina Congressman Mark Meadows now running operations at the White House in that capacity, the fourth chief of staff in a little more than 3 years. Civil rights icon John Lewis is now endorsing former Vice President Joe Biden in the Democratic presidential race. The Georgia congressman telling reporters this morning that Biden should pick a woman of color to be his running mate. Biden's resurgence in the Democratic race has been fueled by strong support from African-American voters and leaders. And this is USA Radio News.
Here's your Georgetown forecast from the Hip Radio Network Weather Center. Overcast today with a high of 87. Southwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 70 tonight. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 89. Turning much cooler Thursday and Friday with highs from the upper 60s to the low 70s. Storms both days. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 70 degrees.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The switch is on. Welcome to Good Morning Georgetown with Rob and Ken. Waking you up in the mornings and getting your day started with the hottest hits, news, and jokes. Get ready. And now here's your hosts, Rob Hip and Ken Covington.
Time now, 7:29, and we are feeling fine this morning. Hey, Georgetown, good morning to you. I hope you are all having a wonderful and extremely blessed start to your Wednesday. It's hump day!
Yes, it is.
Ken Covington.
Hey,
Ken Covington joining us.
I'm pretending to be talking into a microphone.
Hold on, Ken. I'm going to bring Ken on here. Man, I didn't do any of the graphics this morning. It still says Joshua Hare. There we go. Good morning, Ken. How you doing, partner?
I'm doing good.
Ken Covington, our Wednesday co-host and also the co-founder of this show. Appreciate you, brother. What's going on in your neck of the woods, man? You're looking good this morning, my friend.
I put on, it's kind of like the weatherman, the sports guys. They put on a nice shirt but they have shorts on, you know.
Yeah. Are you wearing the Longhorn boxers this morning?
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Well, they're Longhorn. They're not boxers. They're actually longer pants. But yeah, I went to Channel 24 K-View years ago. I was taking this communications class from Austin Community College, and we got to go to Channel 24. I can remember the sportscaster back then. He was, or maybe it might have been the weatherman. I don't know. But I remember he had on a nice coat and tie suit on the top, but he had shorts on. And I thought that was kind of funny. But hey, might as well be comfy.
If you would look around the studio here today, we're broadcasting from the remote Ashby Real Estate Broadcast Studio. What's cool is we're relaying all of our data from our remote studio to our commercial studio up at the official Ashby Real Estate office where our official Ashby Real Estate Broadcast Studio is. So it's all being done remotely. But if you would look around in here, man, I've got sewing stuff everywhere. I don't know if you saw yesterday. We were having fun. We're sewing masks now. And I wanted to thank Nancy Zinner for helping us yesterday with some material. I wanted to just have a call to action. We're going to get hot on making some more of those masks today. Yesterday we were having a lot of fun. We got to have fun doing what we do. But if you have any material, any cloth, any material, especially this elastic string stuff, elastic, whatever it's called, the flat elastic works really well. Need a lot more of that. So if you have any of that, please comment and let us know, and we're going to get back to making some masks today. Hey, I wanted to start this morning. Had a message from one of our awesome sponsors here just a little bit earlier this morning, wanting me to let everybody know. It's been tough on a lot of businesses right now, and so we know that we want to let folks know who's open and who's not open. And our good friend, Mr. Jim Locke over at Mill Direct Flooring, they are open and in business right now. And so if you know of anybody, anyone, and houses are still selling during all of this, Ken, especially real estate folks. You know, when you go to sell a house, people need new flooring. When people move in and out of places, a lot of times they want new flooring. Mill Direct is there. They're there to take care of your needs. And so if you could, give them a call today. If you need any carpeting, any flooring, it is Mill Direct Flooring, carpeting and flooring here in Georgetown. You can visit them online at milldirectcarpettx.com. That's milldirectcarpettx.com. So I wanted to just give that this morning and let folks know they are open. They are in business. It's Mill Direct. They're located in that same shopping center where Sears used to be and Subway is right now. A lot of wonderful businesses in that shopping center over there right off of Austin Avenue next to Mel's Lone Star Lanes. Friends, welcome into the show this morning. I hope you are doing wonderful. This is your show. That's why we have it every morning. We're going to start a little bit later today, and just want to welcome all of you into the show. Ken, we're still dealing, of course, with coronavirus and all of that, but, you know, we're going to have fun today, and we're just going to continue to talk about the good news. The good news this morning, the market's early already. They haven't opened, of course, for another hour, but they're already showing high gains again today after we had a lot of really positive encouragement yesterday, and so excited to have those markets opening back up today. And, Ken, you know, like my mom, she retired years ago. She hasn't started taking out of her retirement yet, but she's been nervous about that. And, you know, I think people just need to hold steady and everything's going to turn around, man.
I mean, it'll come back. It always does, you know. And, I mean, I've been open for appointments only. And I tell you what, yesterday I sold 3 guitars. People are wanting something to do. And, I mean, my sign says closed. And if you're in need of anything, you could text me at my cell number or you can email me, and I will provide strings for you, picks, whatever you need. This lady from Liberty Hill, her husband's birthday is tomorrow, and she came in and bought him a guitar and a microphone, mic stand. It was my big sell of the day. You know, so I'm doing curbside service at Kenz Guitars.
Curbside guitar delivery. Come on, baby. Hey, you know what you need to do? You need to do curbside serenades where you drive by and serenade folks. And
there you go. That'll keep people off the square.
Well, something exciting. You know, I wanted to ask you this because you're a musician, and I wanted to ask your thoughts on that. I'm seeing a lot of folks live streaming music on social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would love to do that. if it's original songs, it's perfectly okay, but it's my understanding that if you're doing cover music and those kind of things, aren't you supposed to have a license for that? Because I had a friend ask me, he's a musician as well, and he goes, man, I want to do cover songs over the internet, but I know that stuff gets flagged as copyright. I think you have to have a license to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there's a lady down in, I forget her name, but she was on Facebook, and she was doing like 30-minute shows out of her house, and she was doing cover songs, everything, So I don't know. I don't know what the rules are on that.
I would encourage, just be careful, because I saw something, or I need to find that again, but it said that social media was being pretty lenient about that during COVID-19, as they should. People are trying to get along right now and get together,
right.
And I think that they should lay off of that and let folks have a little bit of fun right now. But I also understand from the songwriters and, the music, not only is the music copywritten, but also the songs are copywritten, the composition of the music, the words, all that kind of stuff. But I think they need to lay off right now. People are just trying to have fun and get together. Right. And so if you're a musician out there, I've got your back. We're going to figure out a way to make that happen, because I've got a lot of friends that have been doing it as well. And I'll be honest, Ken, I enjoy tuning in, listening to it, man.
Yeah. It's, like we do when we do our shows in the store and all that kind of stuff, it's cover tunes for the most part. And I don't know, we don't charge anybody to come in to listen, and that we do get tips, but I don't know. I'm sure there's pretty stringent rules with all that, but
we're all in this together, and we're going to continue to be together. Man, I've been suffering from allergies for like 2 weeks, and when I talk on this microphone, man, I just feel it like up in my nose, even though it's not coming through like that.
Yeah, the molds are high.
Hey, I wanted to let folks know real quick, if you are a business here in Georgetown, I'm not asking you to advertise. Here's what I'm asking you to do. If you are a business in Georgetown and you are open for business, I'm talking about restaurants. I'm talking really also about service companies. I love restaurants. Restaurants they really are getting a lot of attention right now, which is great. But there's also a lot of service companies. I was talking to a guy the other day that has a cleaning business. He said that his customers, Ken, went from 30 to 40 a week. He's only doing 4 to 5 a week right now.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, it's not just restaurants. It's not just certain businesses. It's affecting everybody across the board. And so if you are a restaurant, though, I know, look, I feel you. If you're a service company, I understand. I'm in advertising. That's what we do. That's what makes this station do what we do. Nobody do that voodoo like you do, Ken do. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a business, I don't care if you're a restaurant, I don't care if you're a service company, if you are open for business and you want people to know that, and maybe you need a little bit of help right now, and you want people to know you're open, we're promoting that at no charge on our website. Visit hrngeorgetown.com/open. That is hrngeorgetown.com/open. And I'm going to make sure that that's actually up and running. There is. So if you go to that, it's the HRN Open for Business. hrngeorgetown.com. Remember back in the day when .coms got real popular, Ken? And you heard stuff like, there was all these jingles, and every one of them on TV in the late 90s and early 2000s. .com. .com.
Oh, I think I remember that.
Sing it. Hey, can you sing that for us real quick, Ken? .com.
.com. You said, hey, I saw something on .com. How's that? I saw something on you did a post. I don't know if you was one on I was listening to your radio show the other morning. You had I forget who your host was that morning, but
what was it?
You were singing, and you have a pretty decent voice. I heard it. I heard it for myself.
I don't
know if it was on Facebook or what, but
I don't know, man. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I appreciate that, but no, dude.
But I heard you singing.
The only thing I think I can remotely sing is bass. Is like church hymns. I used to be in the choir in high school at Main Street Baptist Church. I like to say church. It's just more fun. Church.com. Church.
That's why they say it in Northeast. They leave the R's out.
Yeah, I was just thinking, when I was in high school, I would sing in the choir. I miss it because we wore robes. I mean, we're talking old school. You know what? I just went to church.com, and there's no website there. I'm surprised
Really?
Yeah, you can buy the domain, but there's no website at choich.com. Wow. You got to be careful on the internet because you never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get, Ken, when you go to any.com.
There's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, it's for sale. There's 107 bids on it. I don't know what it's for sale for though. Maybe I'll put in $1. Maybe I'll win it.
Yeah, see if you get it.
Anyways, I sing bass in the choir back at Main Street Baptist Church, and
I like the way you say that. It's pretty good.
It's fun. Church, and it was fun. It was fun, man, because there was a lady. I've told this story before, but for those of you that have never joined us here on Good Morning Georgetown, there was a lady that stood in front of me, and she goes, "I just love the way you sing," and I said, "Well, I appreciate that." She goes, "No, it helps my feet." And I said, "Your feet? What do you mean?" Because we stand on those metal risers. She goes, "It vibrates my feet."
Wow.
So that's my Good Morning Georgetown choice story.
You were giving her a foot massage and you didn't even know it.
Through the voice. Ken Covington here. Hey, what's up? Stephen Giorgio, by the way, joining us here. He's on Facebook Live, but he's also on the app. By the way, look, if you're on the move, if you've got the moves like Jagger, and you can't be on Facebook Live, you can always listen to us on the Hip Radio Network app. It's so easy. Steven did it. Look, Steven knows. You just go to your app store, download Hip Radio Network. That's Hip Radio Network, and you can listen right there on the app. And the cool thing, Ken, when you're on Facebook, you have to keep the window open. If you're on your phone, you can't minimize Facebook and continue listening to it. Now, if you're on the computer, of course, you can just minimize it. So I want to encourage people to download the app because if you're driving, if you're on the way to work in the mornings, if you're on your way home from work, we always stream to that app 24/7, 365. Yeah. You can also go, and Ken, when I say the website, I'm going to leave out the last part and then you sing it for me, okay? You can also listen online at hrngeorgetown.com. We should
pretty good, huh?
We should put together a jingle, and we may lose some listeners. I think it would be incredible.
Rob, I've got a drinking problem.
Why is that?
Oh, you should have seen that. I was drinking my coffee, and it just went all over me.
What, was it hot coffee?
I think I got a hole in my bottom lip. No, luckily it's not too hot, but dadgummit.
Who poured the coffee?
Huh?
Who poured the coffee, or who put the?
Did,
you did.
It's in this cup of mine, and I just kind of oh my goodness.
The reason I asked you that is you could have, I don't know if you could try suing yourself if you would have burned yourself this morning with the coffee.
Remember that lady at McDonald's years ago?
God, that's what started everything.
She sued McDonald's because the coffee was too hot.
Who was it? It was 1992. See, Ken, I love having you on the show, man, because I'm serious. Who would have ever, is it correct to say who would have ever thought or who would have ever thunk? Because I hear people say who would have ever thunk.
I say thought. You say
thunk or thought?
I say thought. Whoever thought that somebody would ever sue McDonald's?
Now try say that same phrase with thunk.
Who would have ever thunk? Nah.
Yeah, it just doesn't come.
Who would have ever thunk that an old lady would sue McDonald's for having too hot of a coffee?
Who would have ever thought? And see, this is why I love having you on the show, because the reason I got into who would have ever thought is I would have never in a million years guessed that we would have had the show this morning and started talking about the McDonald's hot coffee case. Ken Covington showing his shirt here for the audio listeners. He's got coffee.
Can you see that?
I can, man. It is a tragedy this morning as Ken Covington.
The coffee's lukewarm, so it's like it didn't really, it just kind of went down my neck and then kind of just.
There's no excitement in it. Ken, there's no excitement in that. Tomorrow, when you wake up, scorching hot coffee, that'll get your adrenaline pumping just with the thought of, what if I accidentally pour this out?
When I lived in Colorado back in the 80s, yes, way before you. Now, you were born in 84. Oh, guess what today is?
1984, baby.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, Rob, and I'm not kidding you. I wrote this in my planner.
Ken's showing his planner.
I wrote this in my planner last year right here. It says, Rob, 36 years old.
Well, man, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, my friend. You know, yesterday I forgot it was my birthday today. I didn't even think of it.
I was gonna bring that up, by the way, but I wrote that I guess last year or something.
Well, Ken, thank you, man. That means a lot.
I mean, if you're in my planner, you're important.
Well, I appreciate that, Ken. I'm just gonna have to end the show because I'll be honest, I get real emotional, and I just don't know if I can handle it this morning. It just means so much to me. And no, it really does, bro. I consider you one of my really good friends, man. And I want to tell the folks out there, listen, this is the segment of the show on Wednesdays called Butter Up Ken. Butter Up Ken. Because how many know that when you put butter on something, it just tastes better? I like to throw a little cinnamon on it as well, so we're going to butter up Cinnamon Ken here this morning. Ken, around town, when you talk to people that know you, they say that is one of the nicest and also one of the most hilarious guys that I know. So thank you for all that you do for our community and keeping people smiling, especially during COVID-19, my friend, because you do a great job, brother.
And I was thinking about you the other day, Rob. You're always praising other people. And I'm going to give you a shout out this morning. You are always shouting out to other people. And you are always, you're for 30, I mean, you're 36, and even when you're in your 20s, I'm wearing these glasses where I can see what I'm reading.
They make you look sexy, Ken. I'm just going to say it right here. The first time ever, they make Ken look sexy, the glasses. It's so here's how Sean Connery would say, Ken, you look sexy with the glasses. You're sexy. You're sexy man with the glasses. Just kidding.
But anyway, I have to say you're a very creative person. You started a business. How old were you when you started Click's Computer?
Kind of, I don't know, man, high schoolish, and then officially, I guess 19 or 20.
Yeah,
somewhere around that. No, 18. I think it was 18.
I mean, you have. I'm gonna have to say you have very good vision, and you're very creative, and I just have to give that to you because, I think of things throughout the years. I mean, I've thought of things, but never really acted on them. I mean, the music store just kind of fell into my lap. It was kind of
but you're rocking, no pun intended, but you're rocking and rolling over there, man, with what you do for the community.
But you're always praising other people. I'm going to praise you today. It's not just because it's your birthday, but I was thinking, I've always thought how Rob is a very creative person. You're inventive. You make things happen. Is what I'm saying.
I appreciate it. I just need to figure out how to make those things generate income, but we're getting there. We're getting there, man. You can have ideas for day. I appreciate that. I did want to say this though, Ken, and I do appreciate that. For me, like just the thanks, it's I always want to thank others also, and I've learned to be thankful. I've always been thankful. Let me reword that. For me, when people say a nice thing, I enjoy that. But in the back of my mind, it's immediately, I don't do this for me. I do it for other people, man. And that's what's so important is because we always have to come together. I wanted to say, you're talking about a birthday, man. One of the greatest gifts I have in life, besides, of course, my relationship number one with Christ, which I'm trying hard every day to just develop that. And I don't want to stand up here and act like some holy man because I'm not, man. I've had a lot of struggles and deal with a lot of things like all of us, but I've dealt with some pretty crazy things over the years. But I'm going to tell you, that's number one. Number two is those that are close to me. Bridget, my fiance, of course, and my family and my friends. Those are all very important things. And I think this whole COVID-19 situation, and there's another word that I was thinking of that I can't say over the air when I said what I just said because it could be considered a bad word, but we're in a really tough situation right now, and I think this whole thing has created an opportunity though for us to come back together as family. For those that are believers, for us to really focus on our relationship with our Creator. Look, you may not be a believer. That's cool. Whatever your deal is, whatever. Okay, I love you, but those that are believers. How many times do we pray when we need stuff, but we don't pray when things are going great? I'm guilty of that. And so I think it's an opportunity for us today to really get back to the root of what we're here for and our family and those that matter to us. I've seen so many wonderful things on social media. For the first time, instead of a bunch of negativity, a lot of positivity. Mm-hmm. Families together, people enjoying the company of each other. I think when we got rid of the the front porches in America, that kind of caused a problem. That's why I love driving through Old Town in Georgia. My grandma's lived down there since 1970. She bought her house way back in the 60s for an amazing $7,800. And she has a big front porch. And she's 92, and she still sits on her front porch when she can get out and do it. And I think when America got rid of the front porch, Ken, is when things kind of the whole family situation. You know, if I was a developer, and I know a lot of developers, but if I was a developer, especially a real estate developer, I would build homes that have big front porches. I really would. And I know that sometimes just the footprint of these new neighborhoods and how small the lots are, it's difficult to do that. But I'm going to tell you straight up, if I built houses, every house I built, every house that I would build would have a front porch on it.
What's that neighborhood off of Shell Road? It's like right after you turn off Williams. Huh?
The Village?
Yes, they all have front porches. Almost, I like that.
Yeah, they designed that neighborhood to have kind of that neighborhoody feeling. And I don't live over there. I know a lot of folks who do. But then like phase 2, when they built the phase 2 across the street, they completely went away from that plan that they had envisioned. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Did it not work? I think the footprint, it takes up too much space. I'm not a real estate person. Maybe someone who's on the show this morning it's a real estate can let us know and chime in on that. If you are on the app, you can always text us at 512-686-2030. Ken, can I ask you put you on the spot real quick this morning?
Okay.
Can you sing the phone number for us? 512-686-2030. Can I put you on the spot this morning for that?
686-2030?
Yeah, it's kind of got a little ring to it. Could you sing that for us? 512-686-2030.
Is that the radio station?
Yeah, that's the number here to HRN. Do you mind singing it for us? Can I put that up? Can I put you on the spot this morning?
Let's see.
Ken's thinking of it. Here we go. Get ready, folks. Here it is. First time ever.
I got some. You know, your mom said you told me your mom likes my this day in history. Man, I've got a good one for today. Now, I was up last night. I was up last night, and I started dozing off. I was working on this day in history stuff. But anyway, you can listen to HRN Hip Radio at area code 512-868-2030. That's awful. I really have to work on that.
I love it, man. 686-2030 is the number. I love you. Ken, here's the thing, though. Listen, guys, I'm going to straight up tell you. If you go down to Gumbo's, who do you sing with a lot, man? What's that gentleman's?
Jody Berry. Yeah,
Jody Berry. If you once we get back to normal and you go to Gumbo's, what night is it that you guys do that? Be there, be on the B Square?
Sunday and Monday night.
If you go down there, I know Ken was just joking when he sang, but listen, Ken sings amazing. And so go to Gumbo's whenever we get back into order and everything's good and Ken's singing, you go down there and you listen to Ken and he's gonna knock your socks off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
if you get really close, I'll knock your socks off. All right. I'm kidding.
Oh man, hey,
I appreciate that.
7:53 the time here on KHGTDB. It's Georgetown's hometown station. I'm Rob Hipp along with Ken Covington here. Good morning, Georgetown. I hope everybody is doing wonderful today. Ken, you mentioned my birthday earlier, and I wanted to say this. I was talking a lot about just things that we're thankful for and what I really enjoy most about life. Man, I got an incredibly great birthday present this morning. I had no idea. It was actually put on yesterday at 6 o'clock. I had a podcast interview with my buddy Josh Criswell down in Huntsville, Texas. It was an interview with Joshua Criswell in Huntsville, Texas. And he was asking me just about my first year calling sports down there for Sam Houston State and football and basketball. And man, I woke up, I had no idea. And I woke up this morning and had a text message from someone in Huntsville, and they had taken a picture. It was on the front page of the sports section there in Huntsville, reflecting on my first year of calling Sam Houston State football and basketball in Division I. And man, that was a really awesome birthday present to get that text and see. I had no idea, man. And again, and this is where I'm going with this. It is all because of where we're at in life, where you're at right now, Ken, where I'm at right now, where every one of you that are listening on the HRN app or those of you that are on Facebook, where you are at right now is because of someone else. Think about that.
Yeah.
We are at where we're at because of someone else. And I want you to think long and hard about that this morning, because some of you may be in a state of just depression. I know, I've been there. I deal with that. I go through that. You may be in a state of depression. You may be in a state of uncertainty, as many of us are because of what's going on right now. But I want you to remember this morning that you are at where you are because of someone else. And the reason that is so important, Ken, is because that is the mindset that we need to have every day, that when we wake up, it's not only that we're at where we're at because of someone else, but somebody else is at where they are at because of us. That will flip your world upside down. I want you to think long and hard about that this morning. When you are down and out, I want you to remember that, yeah, it's tough. But you also need to remember that somebody else is where they're at because of you. And I think that is so powerful, Ken. I don't know why that popped into my head this morning.
No, I think about that all the time.
It is so powerful, man.
When I look at when I go to my daughter's house, I got 3 daughters. When I go to their house, in fact, you're as old as my oldest daughter now, as of today.
Wow.
Crystal is 36 years old.
Does she live in Georgetown? Where does she live?
She lives in McKinney, Texas now. They used to live in they lived in Wiley, which is close to Plano, and they moved to McKinney last year. But yeah.
Oh, good morning, Julie. Hold on one second. Julie's already joining us. It's okay, Julie.
Oh.
Hold on.
This is my first time.
Julie's on there. It's the first time on Good Morning Georgetown. Hold on 1 second. We'll bring
Rob,
you on.
I was thinking Rob sure got prettier all of a sudden.
Hold on 1 second, Julie. We're going to bring Julie in here at the 8 a.m. hour. Thank you so much, Julie, for being with us. We're going to talk to her about a wonderful organization, Help Crisis Assistance. So we are definitely going to have Julie on here coming up at the 8 a.m. hour. So appreciate her being with us this morning as well. You know, we're so blessed, Ken, to have an opportunity to talk to a lot of wonderful folks here in this area and in Georgetown. And that's one reason when you and I sat down and we had the idea for this show, which was originally going to be a podcast just on the internet, and when we originally had that idea, it was, how can we connect with Georgetown? How can we tell a story of Georgetown? And I'll never forget that lady that was sitting next to us, Caroline, and she has still never been on the show. She said, I'll do the show with you guys.
Yeah.
And Caroline, if you ever watch and listen, that may have just been the wine talking. And I remember you were there with your husband, and your husband was fully supportive of you being on the show as well, Caroline. And we ended up doing it, Ken, 3 years ago. This all came to fruition. So you go back to thinking about, we wouldn't be where we're at without someone else, Ken. This show wouldn't be here without you. It wouldn't be here without me. It's just incredible. It wouldn't be here without Gumbos. I mean, that's how deep.
True.
It's so cool to think about that, because
how things work. Yeah.
Wouldn't be here if I would have never started Click. We wouldn't. It's just so incredible to go down that path and think about that journey think about that. How did you get to where you're at, and where are you going? Where are them big wheels turning, baby?
I know, it's amazing. It's like, there's people walking my store. I might not ever see them again, but then again, I might know them for years from then on.
We never know.
You know what I'm saying?
Never know.
You like my fake microphone?
I do, yeah, it's cool. Ken's got a prop this morning. Hey, Ken, appreciate you being here with us. Time now, 7:58. We'll get into a little bit of some national news here in just a few moments. Of course, making headlines that have been over the past several weeks, the coronavirus, as the latest numbers here from the Williamson County Cities and Health District, I believe 87 folks in our county, unfortunately, have COVID-19. The good news is there's been close to 40 that have recovered. You hear so much about the bad things. There's been almost 40 that have recovered. However, out of those 80-plus numbers, 5 persons here, 5 of our friends in Williamson County have passed away from COVID-19. And that's why it's so important that, I know there's a lot of people that say the media is blowing this out of proportion. And look, I think some of the media is, Ken. We just give you the facts and the numbers. And we talk to Dr. Wynn once a week from Acna Health. He comes on our show and talks about it. I think the biggest issue is just how easily this illness can be spread. That is one thing. And then also it does have a high mortality rate. And more importantly, it has, you can be asymptomatic for 14 days and pass it on to somebody else. And that's why we're facing what we're facing. Williamson County yesterday extending that stay home, stay safe order now through April the 30th. Although I'm going to tell you something, I had to go out yesterday and pick up some supplies and a few things. Man, there were people everywhere.
Oh,
There really were. I was like, are we really staying home, staying safe? But I did notice this, though. The highways were a lot less, were they desolate? Is that the right word? The highways were a little desolate. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like the square, the downtown Georgetown. It's like, wow. It's like you'll see a car over here and a car over there. You know.
Yeah, that was it.
I actually saw probably more cars on the square yesterday than I've seen in a long time. I don't know what was going on, but.
Well, your Monday morning here, April the 8th. Thanks for joining us from the New York Times this morning on the national level. Shakeup of federal inspectors general, the death of the singer-songwriter John Prine, and elections in Wisconsin. Ken, that's a tragic one. We started talking about John Prine just here a few days ago. He came down with COVID-19, the Americana legend, passing away at 73. Unfortunately, he was doing better for a while, some of the reports said, but then eventually, unfortunately, succumbing to COVID-19. Boy, you talk about a legend in Americana music, yeah. John Prine at 73. That is just extremely tough here today, man. I mean, you grew up listening to guys like John Prine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
I did.
We're losing some good people, man. President Trump on Tuesday effectively ousted the leader of a new panel charged with overseeing how his administration spends trillions of taxpayer dollars in the coronavirus relief. The move comes as part of a larger push by President Trump against independent voices within the government that he considers disloyal. We'll continue some other news here and other developments. Mr. Trump threatened to withhold funding from... It's funny how some of this media... it's just... Look, man, I don't get political. I tend to be more conservative, but I got a lot of friends that are on the more liberal side, and I love them, and we all get along. When we don't talk politics, everything's awesome. And when we do talk politics, I learn a lot, and they learn a lot. But it's funny because the New York Times in a lot of cases will refuse to call the president President Trump. It'll say Mr. Trump a lot. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump threatened to withhold funding from the World Health Organization, accusing it of not having been aggressive enough in confronting the virus. The virus is infecting and killing more black people in the United States at disproportionately higher rates. Those numbers were coming out yesterday. Figures from several states indicate. President Trump acknowledged the disparity on Tuesday, and he said that the authorities in the medical field were working to provide more information. Congress could move as early as next week to approve another probably seems like $250 billion in aid for small businesses. The acting Navy Secretary, Thomas Modly, resigned after firing the captain of a stricken aircraft carrier that developed into a public relations disaster. That has been making the news. So that is just some of your news. Of course, John Prine, unfortunately, the country folk singer and songwriter whose lyrics made him a favorite of Bob Dylan and Chris Christopherson and others, passed away on Tuesday at 73. His obituary, just a tough one, another one to read there. Ken, we'll step aside and take a break. It is 8:03 a.m. We'll reset. We have our wonderful guest on with us this morning, Miss Julie Hobbs of Help Crisis Assistance. Stay with us, friends. This is KHGTDB. It's Good Morning Georgetown on Georgetown's hometown station. We'll be right back here in just a few moments.
USA Radio News with Chris Barnes.
U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams urging Americans to keep following the 30-day White House guidelines to slow the spread of coronavirus. He says social distancing will be key to getting a control of it. But he also had some hopeful news in an appearance on this morning's NBC Today show.
I know that I helped America understand this was going to be a hard and a tough week, but I also wanted them to understand that we've had hard weeks. We've had hard times in our country before, and we've come together, and America is coming together to battle this disease, and we are starting to see progress.
An encouraging milestone reached in China, where the pandemic began, with no new coronavirus deaths reported yesterday on its mainland for the first time since January. This morning has seen a second straight day of strong early gains on Wall Street, and this is USA Radio News.
Hi, Hi, this is Wayne Allen Root, and do I have a perfect book at the perfect time for you? Dr. Nancy Wolfe is a conservative and capitalist professor emeritus in the psychology department at UCLA, where she spent 30 years. She studied and taught about the human mind. She knows exactly what we need to hear right now as chaos and crisis descend around us. Her book is Conscious Matrix. Nancy explains why the liberals, socialists, and globalists try to destroy us right now will not and cannot succeed, because we as Americans are wired to win, to be the greatest nation and the greatest people ever in the history of mankind. Our biology, our history, our culture, all these things are pre-wired in our minds and souls. We're literally pre-wired to win. Nancy says we have more light in our hearts and minds when we are right with God. And she says together, God, President Trump, and conservative Americans will save the soul of America. We will win. We are literally predestined to win. This is the book you need to read now, today. Purchase Conscious Matrix at LibertyHillPublishing.com. Conscious Matrix at LibertyHillPublishing.com, or available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
The White House press secretary is out of that job, though Stephanie Grisham is not going very far. Grisham is now going to be First Lady Melania Trump's chief of staff. She worked for the First Lady previously, but never held a single televised news conference during her brief tenure as President Trump's chief spokesperson. With a new White House chief of staff aboard, a communications shakeup was said to be afoot. Former North Carolina Congressman Mark Meadows now running operations at the White House in that capacity, the fourth chief of staff in a little more than 3 years. Civil rights icon John Lewis is now endorsing former Vice President Joe Biden in the Democratic presidential race. The Georgia congressman telling reporters this morning that Biden should pick a woman of color to be his running mate. Biden's resurgence in the Democratic race has been fueled by strong support from African-American voters and leaders. And this is USA Radio News.
Here's your Georgetown forecast from the Hip Radio Network Weather Center. Overcast today with a high of 87. Southwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 70 tonight. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 89. Turning much cooler Thursday and Friday with highs from the upper 60s to the low 70s. Storms both days. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 70 degrees.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The switch is on. Welcome to Good Morning Georgetown with Rob and Ken. Waking you up in the mornings and getting your day started with the hottest hits, news, and jokes. Get ready. And now here's your hosts, Rob Hip and Ken Covington.
Welcome back. It is 8:08 a.m. Where you at this morning, Georgetown? I hope everybody is having a wonderful Wednesday as we continue to rock and roll here on Good Morning Georgetown. Always a true honor, privilege, and blessing to bring you this show every morning here and just to say hello to everybody in Georgetown. We live in such a wonderful and beautiful community, and excited to have our guest on here in just a few moments. I wanted to say real quick before I got to our guest, I put in a water filtration system a couple of years ago, and I'm out here in the remote studio, which is on the side of the house, and I knew I wouldn't have time to run in and fill up my glass of water, and I went to the water hose, like the spigot, and I filled up this glass of water, and it tastes perfectly great. So I'm going to tell you straight up, if you were worried about drinking out of the water hose, get you a water filtration system, because it goes before everything. The water in the glass tastes really good. That's what I wanted to lead with here. Just kidding, friends. Hey, we got a really good friend and a wonderful guest that is on our show here this morning from the Help Crisis Assistance. This is a organization, a 501c3 that follow when there's a critical incident. I'll just read their mission real quick. Following a critical incident, there are very few resources available to assist with the immediate needs of the victims or survivors or immediate family. Some of those needs include, but they're not limited to, shelter, clothing, food, transportation, as well as medical copays for counseling or prescriptions. Through fundraising and private donors, Help can assist with those needs. Advocacy nonprofit 501c3. We are now joined by Miss Julie Benton Hobbs. Good morning to you, Julie. Thanks for being on the show with us.
Good morning. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Well, how are you doing this morning, Miss Julie?
Listen, I'm great, but if you ask me to sing anything, our relationship is over.
Don't worry. There's no Ken. That's why we have Ken on as our morning co-host because on Wednesdays, because Ken, I know that Ken struck out a while ago trying to sing the phone number, but he was just joking. But Ken is a great singer. So, but Julie, thanks.
I love watching Ken.
Well, thanks so much for being on the show. Before we get into more about help, I always like just for our audience to get to know our guests. Tell us a little bit about you and just your journey here to Georgetown and those things, if you don't mind, Julie.
Well, I live in what I call Weirburg, about halfway between Weir and Wahlberg. I've got a whole litter of daughters that keep me busy. We've been out here we've been in Georgetown about 25 years, I guess. But prior to that, I was Army brat, really not from anywhere. So lived all over the world. So we've been here a minute.
Well, I love that. And I saw your maiden name. Is it Benton? Is that correct?
It is.
You're not related to Judge Benton that used to be here, are you? Do you get that a lot?
I do get that a lot. We actually used to work together when I was with the county. So having the last name of two judges didn't hurt matters if I got pulled over, but no relation.
I ran into Judge Benton just the other day before all this COVID-19 got going, and he was up in the Gerald area, just a great guy. So I thought about that. I wanted to ask you. Well, hey, Julie, we appreciate you being on the show this morning, especially here with our guests. We love to highlight our nonprofits that are 501c3s that are doing a lot for the community. I think your organization is incredibly special and what you guys do. Talk a little bit more about HELP and how you started it and what it stands for and what you guys are up to.
Okay. Well, it kind of was an idea that came about a few years ago. I spent about 10 years with the sheriff's office and victim services. And in that time, obviously, got to know a lot about the resources and the lack of resources in Williamson County. And, it was always sort of a fantasy of mine that one day I was going to do something to bridge the gap between the first responders and the resources, because that job is hard enough. And when you don't have a budget and you don't have resources, it makes it a whole lot harder. And what we found was the majority of the time, money for critical needs came out of our own pocket. So from our pockets as advocates and police officers, detectives, when something critical happened and we needed to help someone, we paid for those situations. And, that's not always easy. There are some resources available, but not always immediately. And there's a lot of stipulations. You have to be in a certain city or a certain town. You have to fall under their guidelines. And I wanted to create something that wasn't a whole lot of red tape. We would assist immediately. And so that's what we've put together. We, like you said, help crime victim survivors, people in crisis and disaster. And there's no way we could have known the magnitude of the current disaster that we were all dealing with. We certainly weren't necessarily prepared. Nobody was. And so we're just doing our best to be a positive contributor, I guess, in this.
Well, we're talking to Julie Benton Hobbs this morning, the director and founder of Help Crisis Assistance here in Georgetown. When were you guys founded? Because I've seen the Help Crisis Assistance logo popping around a little bit. Talk more about just the founding of the organization, if you don't mind.
Actually, are pretty new. It's September is when we were founded. September of last year, 2019.
Awesome.
So, yeah, and what we had said was, we announced that we were going to be a thing, and kind of told everybody. We had a big fundraiser. And we said, we're not going to launch services until until January 1st, because that was going to be our clean slate. We were just going to spend a few months, marketing. And it really didn't work out that way. As soon as the public found out that we were an organization and that we'd possibly be able to help different situations, our phones blew up and we went to work immediately, meeting needs. And so we sort of skipped over that start off date of January 1 and got to work almost right out of the chute. You
guys have been, again, founded in September just of last year, and That's what I was saying. When I first saw the logo and the organization, I said, man, this thing is starting to take off pretty quick because there's so many people that need help. And just to be clear, you guys help folks in residents of Williamson County, I believe, just only here in Williamson County. Is that correct?
That's correct. Just Williamson County. Most of our donations are coming from Williamson County. This is where we want to serve. It's a huge community. There's a whole lot of people. There's a lot of agencies, municipalities, of course, within that don't have big budgets, that don't have a whole lot of resources. And so not just, it's not just Georgetown. Georgetown gets a lot of, I think play because I live here and I know people here, but we're out in Liberty Hill, Gerald, Thrall, in those little communities too, helping those folks out and helping those departments out, Taylor, Hutto, all of those guys. So yeah, we're everywhere. I
think it's very important that, this show, we focus a lot on Georgetown, of course, but we have so many friends, and I'm so glad that you brought that up, that it's not just Georgetown, that you're helping the smaller communities. That's something that's very near and dear to me, even folks up in Gerald. I've always said it, and I say it a lot on the show, that I have a heart for that community, but there are so many other little towns in our area that don't get the resources or the support that I think that they need sometimes. And that's not knocking anybody. It's just because they're smaller communities. And you talk about towns like Thrall, Thorndale, Wahlberg, Andice, all of these little small towns, and it's so incredible to have an organization such as yours that is helping not just folks in Georgetown or just in the bigger towns like Round Rock, but throughout Williamson County. Talk a little bit more about if somebody needs help, who are the ideal, and I don't want to say the word in the wrong way, but what is the ideal people that you serve, if I can word it that way? I'm trying to word it in a way that makes sense, where if somebody needs help, who do you help?
So the way we have it worded technically is crime, crisis, and disaster. So you've got to be in one of those categories. So a crime victim is pretty obvious. There's been some sort of crime, some sort of a person's crime that resulted in probably injury, and maybe there's a need for transportation or shelter. Emergency shelter is the biggest one for family violence victims. The shelters are full in Williamson County. They're full everywhere. And so we can put people up in emergency shelter. We can pay for transportation, groceries. We recently did a major car repair for a lady who was broke down on the highway in the rain, fleeing a family violence situation. So there's, we've worked death. We've recently had a major loss in our community with a homicide or a murder-suicide, and we were able to do some things to help that family. So there's that part, that crime victim. I don't like the word victim personally. I like survivors, but the truth is they don't always survive. Yeah. And then crisis was more broad, and I'm not sure that I would have added that word if I had it to do all over again, because it confuses people. But for what we do, there's got to be a critical element. There was some sort of, traumatic event that led to a need. So that means possibly a suicide, because that is not a crime. A traffic fatality, some event that's not necessarily a crime, but it was a tragic, critical incident. So that's kind of where we work with crisis. And then the last one is disaster. And, in our heads, we thought, okay, occasionally there are floods or tornadoes or house fires. And lo and behold, there was the COVID-19. So, those are the three categories that someone would have to fit in order for us to be able to serve them.
You brought up COVID-19. We continue to talk to Julie Benton Hobbs here of Help Crisis Assistance here in Williamson County. You brought up COVID-19. I mean, what have been some of the needs regarding that folks may have contacted help about already?
We are actually supplying, we have got a really decent supply of masks, gloves, soaps. We very early on sort of started purchasing supplies. We put that out to our helpers on Facebook that we were collecting supplies, and they stepped up. So we have actually been providing masks and sanitizers to many of the local law enforcement agencies who haven't been provided adequate supplies yet. We've given them to medical personnel, a couple of people with compromised immune system, things like that. But mostly they've gone out to larger agencies like other nonprofits, I guess I should say, that are also serving on the front lines, things like that. Our goal is to right now provide those things to first responders primarily and the people working on the front lines. And we've been able to do that without a problem.
I think the work is incredible. You talked earlier about helping someone even with their car who needed assistance. Can you talk about some of the other services and how you guys help folks?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool because we, there's no manual on how these things happen. I've probably seen it all in my years, and you just never know what a situation is going to look like and what the need's going to be. So we are very flexible. Back in Christmas, I think it was the week of Christmas, 2 days before, there was a baby that died over on the far east side of the county. And those officers reached out and they said, Julie, I don't know what, but, please help them. Please do something for them and put us in touch. And, they didn't know what they needed. Of course, they were still in the initial grief and shock stages. And it turned out that what they needed was help with food. They needed help serving dinner on the grounds after the service. And so that's what we did. We helped donate the food, and we served food and cleaned tables for 8 hours and loved on people and just served the family. Other times there's been maybe an unexpected death, and we've been able to help with some of those expenses going towards funerals or some of the financial hardships that come following an unexpected death when somebody maybe has to take off work, they lose some income. We've been able to help with those things. Car repairs. Oh gosh, there's a pretty long list of just, things. We do a lot of emergency shelter for law enforcement. Whenever there's no shelter with beds available, we do a lot of that. Anywhere we're needed, we just want to serve.
Yeah, it looks like I was just reading through. We're talking to Julie Benton Hobbs here of the Help Crisis Assistance this morning, a 501c3 nonprofit here in Williamson County, and talking about how you guys are helping even payment of hotel room or emergency shelter, food, gas, out-of-town transportation expenses, clothes, hygiene items, prepaid cell phones, car seats. I mean, that's something that most people wouldn't even think of, which is just amazing. Yeah. Prescription payment assistance, counseling copay assistance, biohazard cleanup assistance, assistance with funeral expenses, rehab for agencies working a disaster or critical incident. So just so many, and that's just a handful, of what you guys do. Talk a little bit more about folks in the community. If there's someone out here listening today, and I always say this because I know that there's somebody right now that says, I really want to help this organization, especially right now during COVID-19. We are blessed in a community, especially here in Georgetown, but throughout the county, of people who want to step up and help. And right now I know there's someone that's saying, I really want to help. How can that person or those persons that are listening or watching this morning on Facebook, how can they get involved? What opportunities do you have for them to be able to help? Okay. Well, our number one way to communicate with the public is actually our Facebook, Help Crisis Assistance. That is a community of helpers. Everybody on our page are people who have reached out and said, I'm in, I want to help, put me on your list. We have a spreadsheet with categories, for instance, if we need boots on the ground for certain situations, I have restaurants who want to supply the food. I have moving companies that will, show up any hour of the night. We have the Beard Club, for instance, who will come out and be the heavy lifters. We work with everyone in the community who wants to be on that list. And so if you have maybe a talent or you want to serve, maybe whether it's financial, whether it's just, hey, sign me up for boots on the ground, or maybe you have an Airbnb that we could use for a situation, you have something to contribute, we'll put you in that category and call you when that need comes up. We use our Facebook regularly for needs in the community. I could say, hey, a little boy in, I won't be specific, but an elementary school on the east side of town needs a pair of shoes. He needs them today. He needs this size. I post that
and it's done. Somebody will jump up and say, done, I've got this one, it's done. We have an amazing group of helpers on there, and that's our number one resource. And obviously financial. Right now, we can't send people out. We can't ask people to go out and be boots on the ground for things right now, because we want them to stay safe, and we don't want to put them at risk. So right now, nobody likes to hear it. Nobody likes to hear that, oh, we just need money. But right now we are buying supplies. We need money because not only are we responding to COVID and providing supplies for our first responders, but we still have to be able to serve crime victims. And that is on the rise right now because people are stuck at home. And so we absolutely need financial support as much as we can get it.
We got Ken Covington here with us from Kenz Guitars as well. He is on the morning show with us on Wednesdays. I got Ken. I'll bring Ken back into the conversation. Ken, pretty amazing program that we're hearing this morning from Julie Hobbs with Help Crisis Assistance.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing to have. Gosh, I mean, I just think if I ever need it and need something like that, I know where to go now. You know what I'm saying? Or if I know somebody that needs some help.
Yeah, and I think it's an organization, where there's so many different ways to help in our community. And I think that you have found a very important need, Julie, with this organization. And I think it's something that folks are really going to tremendously benefit from. As you talked about your background in working with local law enforcement and those agencies. And so you know it better than anybody that what people need and where they need to be at. Let's say somebody like Ken wanted to help out in some way. What kind of fundraisers or events like that do you guys hold?
Well, we have actually this year is our fourth year that we'll be doing the Georgetown Ball Gown Pub Crawl, which is a really fun, awesome event that we do on Square here in Georgetown. And we have, last year was over 300 people, about 350. All the businesses participate. Everybody dresses up in ball gowns and tuxedos, and we go from business to business. We shop, we eat, we drink, and have professional photography. And it's just a really, really fun night. That's a ticketed event. It's our biggest fundraiser. It'll happen November 21st this year, provided we can all be out and about together. And then we just have ongoing opportunities throughout the year. Every Tuesday, we do a $2 Tuesday campaign on our Facebook page, where you can do PayPal or Venmo or whatever. And that was set up because there are so many people who want to give and want to serve and want to contribute something, but they're on a fixed income and they don't feel embarrassed because they're able to give so little. $2 is nothing. And so if we're dealing with over 500,000 citizens in Williamson County, I mean, if every one of them donated $2, we'd be in a whole nother ballgame, but we'll get there. So right now, just $2 Tuesday is actually one of the most successful things we've done so far. We have people in Georgetown that give up one glass of wine a week and donate that to us, and they've made small little commitments to us where they've found a way to give.
You talked about your Facebook page earlier. Just one final time, if people want to get in touch with you for more information, they can find you on that Facebook page. I posted it on our Facebook live stream. There's a lot of folks listening on our app this morning as well, just to the audio. So for those of you that are just listening and you're not seeing those comments, of course, because you're on the app, you can just look up Help Crisis Assistance and you can find their Facebook page. You also have a website as well. Can you mention a little bit about that, Julie?
Yeah, sure. We have a website. It's very, very simplistic. You can go on there and send a message. It'll go through our email system. It goes straight to my phone. I have an amazing board, board members. It'll go to all of us and somebody will get back to them as soon as possible. There's a resources link on there that people can download onto their phones. If we can't meet a need, there may be a resource on one of those links that can, different serving centers, caring place, stuff like that. It's probably important for people who are just hearing about us to check out our fact sheet as well. And that answers some questions about what we do and what we don't do. But and also I would tell people, if you reach out to us, if you call us, we kind of have a rule of we're not going to call you back until or unless you very specifically say, that we can. A lot of people are maybe a domestic violence survivor has grabbed 3 minutes of privacy on her phone. She's blocked a number and she's called us real quick. And then maybe she got her voicemail because we are in the middle of something. It would get her in trouble if we just cold called her back. And maybe that was not a safe time. So we kind of have a rule, please leave a message or text us. It will go through our messaging system. It will come to our phones. So please be real specific so that we know you're safe when we return your phone call.
Yeah, I think that's important. It's little things that are the biggest things that I would have never thought of. And I think that is great that you guys do that as well, just to make sure that we're protecting people and keeping their privacy, because you never know what somebody is going through. Ken, I wanted to ask you any questions, any final questions, Ken, that you may have for Miss Julie this morning. Oh, well, hold on. I may have Ken muted. Sorry. I have to produce the show on my own. You know, big, nice radio stations have producers that sit behind these really amazing glass walls, and it's just me right here. So you guys make the show happen. But Ken, I got you back on now.
I can't think of anything really. I think she said it all. That's just a great organization to have, and know that people have somebody to go to.
Well, Julie, appreciate you being on this morning, and Ken, thank you as well for chiming in. Wanted to give Julie a final opportunity here for folks, just some final statements from you, and again, appreciate you being on this morning, Julie.
Thank you. I really would just like to say thank you. This group of people, is certainly not about me. It's a community program. Not one act of kindness that we are able to extend comes from me. It comes from the donations and the contributions of our community of helpers. It's their program. It's what makes it work. When I'm dropping off supplies and people are so grateful, and of course I'm the face of that, but it's not about me. It's about all these people behind me that are making it possible. And I just want to say thank you to the helpers and especially to my board. I want to say thank you to the Georgetown businesses. Georgetown has been amazing. Gumbo's has been our biggest supporter. Y'all were talking about Gumbo's earlier. They will feed people, no questions asked. They're the type of business who calls me and says, I have an idea to support you. I don't have to call them. And I just think that's phenomenal. So really, we just want to say thank you. And if anybody needs anything, if anyone needs anything and they're a frontline worker, we are here. We have supplies. We deliver. We're super creative. We can make things happen.
Well, Jolie, appreciate you. And one final time as well, the biggest needs right now that you guys have. I just wanted to, there may be some folks that are just joining us. What are the biggest needs that you have right now? How can people get involved right now?
The biggest need we have right now is money. We've got to keep being able to purchase supplies. We've got to keep people home, so it's not necessarily a boots on the ground situation that we have right now. And people like to do that, and so sometimes they get disappointed when I can't give them a chore, a job to do, a delivery to make. But I don't want to do that right now. I want to keep everybody safe. Our biggest need right now is money, so we can continue buying these supplies from our suppliers, because this is going to be an ongoing situation, and we have to be able to take care of crime victims. Also, we can't use all of our resources on this virus. So financial contributions right now at this moment are our biggest need.
I was thinking of chores. I'm looking around and my yard needs mowed. And how cool would it be to have people, hey, you want a chore and you know how to mow a lawn and then take that money and donate it to Help Crisis. How about that? That'd be a good opportunity right now. So for people that like chores, go mow some lawns, take the proceeds and donate it to Help Crisis. And there's your chore right there. So that would be maybe a way. Well, Jolie, appreciate you. It's so apparent and so obvious to see how passionate you are about helping others in your organization. It comes through in the way that you talk, and just the organization that you have is simply amazing. We'll continue to promote your nonprofit and whatever we can do to help you here on HRN. Of course, we'll help have that platform for you to continue to be successful and help out, because we know there's a lot of people here in our county that need help, especially right now. So, Jolie, thank you so much for being on this morning. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Once again, that was Miss Julie Hobbs. I've posted more information on our Facebook page. You can also visit them on their Facebook page at Help Crisis Assistance, and then their website is helpcrisisassistance.com. HipRadioNetwork.com. We're going to step aside and take a break. We've got about a little under 30 minutes to go. When we come back, we'll chime in a little bit more. Stay with us, friends. This is Hip Radio Network. It's Good Morning Georgetown. We'll be back here in just a few moments.
Here's your Georgetown forecast from the Hip Radio Network Weather Center. Overcast today with a high of 87. Southwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 70 tonight. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 89. Turning much cooler Thursday and Friday with highs from the upper 60s to the low 70s. Storms both days. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Frobley. Currently, it's 70 degrees.
All right, Georgetown, it's that part of the show where if you're a dipper, if you're a tobacco user, put in a good dip. Put in that good dip this morning. Read a book, practice a few words. Hey, if you got sticks in your backyard, why don't you go outside and whittle a good stick? Whittle a good stick. How many know that when you whittle a good stick, you're having fun this morning? Boy, we're having fun this morning. It's always such a pleasure to talk to so many wonderful folks here in the Georgetown community, and folks just like Julie is what makes our community so incredibly special. By the way, I don't support. I'm not promoting tobacco use there, Ken. I just, that music. I always joke around, Ken, but I say this truthfully. I don't dip, but for some reason when I hear that, I honest to goodness want to put in a good dip, Ken. I really do. Are you still dipping, Ken? I forgot. Do you still dip?
All the time. All the time. I'm.
Man.
I got a couple of things in this day in history. Now, one of them last night, I was looking at one of them last night. I started dozing off. Can you look up for me? I know you're the world is at your fingertips.
It's right here, brother. It's ready.
I wrote down in 1912 on this day, the Titanic sank. Can you verify that for me?
Man, if it did. No, it was okay, here we go.
I know it happened in 1912.
It did happen in 1912. It was April the 15th is when it sank. April the 15th. Did I lose you? I may have just lost you, Ken. Hello. Oh, are you back, Ken? Can you hear me?
Oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, they're kind of breaking up there.
Brain freeze. April the 15th is when it sank.
So it's April 15th?
Yeah, 1-5.
Oh, okay.
Still in April. But yeah, that's pretty tough. What else do you got for us over there in the old this day in history?
This one is very important. I mean, of course, the Titanic sinking. So we'll have to cover that next week because I didn't. Anyway,
it will be next week. Yeah, 7 days away, the 15th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to bring that up next week. This day in history, this guy was born on February the 5th in 1934. But 40 years later, because in 1974, 40 years later, he was 40 years old, Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's all-time home run record on this day in 1974.
1974. And I think, is he still alive? If he would, he'd be in his 80s.
I think he is.
He was born in 36. Yeah, he is. He was born in 36. He's in his 80s. Hank Aaron, yes, he is not a retired American Major League Baseball right fielder. He's the senior vice president of the Atlanta Braves, played 21 seasons with Milwaukee and Atlanta Braves. Of course, they both shared that namesake for a while in the National League. 2 seasons for the Brewers in the AL from 1954 through 1976. There it is. He held the MLB record for career home runs for 33 years, and he still holds several other offensive records. He hit 24 or more home runs every year from 1955 through 1973.
He hit number 715. Babe Ruth's record was 714.
That's pretty crazy, man. That's a lot of
He
home
did it.
runs.
He did it in front of 53,775 people.
I'm missing baseball right now. Did you hear the latest story from the MLB? They said they want to get baseball underway. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I kind of heard that, but gosh, you just have to do it without an audience,
Yeah, they want to do it. They want to do it without an audience, and they have several spring training ballparks. I think that they were talking about holding this in Arizona and Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken, that all games would be played there. Just looking this over, this was on ESPN yesterday. The Major League Baseball responded in a statement on Tuesday that said just one of several contingency plans being considered, and that the league has not settled on that option or developed a detailed plan just yet. But the baseball world, of course, buzzing over the possibility that this could happen. It's raised many questions about the logistics and practicality of the 2020 season being played in the desert. How far along are the MLB and the Players Association? One source described the idea as being in the top of the first inning. I like that. They got to use the baseball plan. How far along is this plan? Well, it's in the top of the first inning. We're about to get underway.
Yeah.
We're stepping up to the mound. One source described the idea as being underway with all the logistical things that need to be worked out. The sides had one 40-minute phone call. There wasn't really many details on that. However, they asked, too, what is the soonest baseball could realistically be played under this plan? That was answered depending completely on two major factors. First, what are the state of the local mandates and the place of the various sites considered for use? And then there's the collaboration between the MLB and the players for any proposed plan. There are a lot of players with concerns about what's being discussed now, with some privately saying, we will not participate. We will not play.
Boy.
We will not play in that baseball if it's going to be in a practice field, Kenny. We're not going to play. I don't know what accent or what I'm trying to emulate there. It just kind of came. It's because I was in the middle of about to cough, and I started talking like that. I just kept it going.
What I thought would be kind of fun to do is, besides this, I do this day in history. Another thing we can do is things found in Ken's bedroom.
What do we got today? I don't know if we want to hear what we found in your bedroom, dude.
Well,
an old bologna sandwich.
There's always a good side to everything, like I always want to say Cremona. The coronavirus, it's kind of taken away the blow of the Astros, what they did. Maybe if things are kind of smooth over. I was afraid the Astros were going to, every time they got on the field of a visiting team, they were going to get booed.
Yeah.
But maybe that will kind of blow off, But anyway, one thing found in Ken's bedroom is, now I got this when I was a kid. My dad took me to Astros games and the Astrodome. It's an Astros bobblehead.
Ken has found an Astros bobblehead in his bedroom.
Yeah. I've had this thing since I was probably in the third grade. And I didn't. Sometimes I'll put the date on. I probably had this, third, fourth, fifth grade. But it's kind of cool,
Ken, that is. How long have you had that again? Since you were in third or fourth grade?
Gosh, probably third or fourth grade.
Wow.
Yeah,
and it still bobbles.
Yeah, it's still. I haven't broke it. I've taken good care of it.
Bobble, bobble, bobble. I think it's supposed to go wobble, wobble, but it's bobble, bobble, bobble. Can I spy with my little? Oh, go ahead. Hold on. Go ahead. Here we go.
Another thing found in Ken's bedroom is an Astros hat. Now, this Jordan, my boy, he colored in the eyes. I don't know if you can see that. He colored in. He went and he put earrings on this guy too.
Ken's showing, for those that are on the app right now, you're not seeing this. Ken is showing, which is cool, an Astros hat. This is Ken's things in his bedroom that he's showing us. We're getting a very personal look here. But Ken, where in the world did you get a mannequin head from that the hat is on?
That was in my store. I used to have the Ken's Guitars hats. I don't have any right now. So Jordan kind of he kind of did this one in. He punched this guy's mouth in. You can see the hole. So really, it's like, he put dots on the eyes. He put earrings on the nose. Yeah. So I don't know. He kind of destroyed this one.
Ken, I think you're blaming your son. You're the one that did all that.
I might have, yeah.
No,
but anyway, that's why I use it. I use it to put the Astros hat on.
What other interesting things do you have in there? One more interesting thing, Ken. What do you see?
One
what do you
more
got?
interesting
What do you
thing.
got?
Oh, what this? Okay, I was going to talk about this shirt. I mean, I'm not a Dallas.
Describe the shirt for our audio listeners also.
Isn't this like a hockey team?
Yeah, I think it's the Dallas Stars, isn't it?
Well, have you ever had clothes just appear and you don't know where they came from?
Yeah, I've had them appear and I've had them disappear as well.
Yeah. This shirt, I have no clue where it came from.
Yeah, that's the Dallas Stars hockey team. That's the Dallas Stars logo.
I mean, it appeared in my laundry. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it was my son-in-law's or what, but it showed up one day and there it is. I've opened up the dryer and it popped out.
Ken, I wanted to Bridget's, my fiance's little sister, my clothes will end up missing because Bridget will just give her my shirts sometimes. And I'm like, where are my shirts at? Like yesterday, there was a sweater. I was like, are you kidding me? Here's the thing, though. I'm wearing a Spurs shirt right now. San Antonio Spurs tee. I haven't wore this shirt in years.
Yeah.
And it fits me again. I'm amazed with the clothes now that I've lost over 40 pounds. You don't think about it. And all these clothes that I was going to get rid of now fit me.
Yeah.
My jeans, they don't even stay on me anymore. I'm on the last loop of my belt. I'm on the last loop of my belt, Kitty, and I just can't do it anymore. Well, I wonder if there's a song. That is a country song right there, brother, if I've ever heard one. Well, I was down in my backyard on the last loop of my belt. It was so bad, I didn't know what to do. So I put in a good dip. And then while you sing that, Ken, you know what you do, brother? While you sing that, here we go. Here it is right here on Good Morning Georgetown. Yeah, get ready for it now. Here we go. I was down on the last loop of my belt, the same belt that my daddy gave me a welt, 'cause I was a bad kid, and now I'm just trying to be good. Come on, Ken. Here we go. It's Good Morning Georgetown. I'm on the last whelp of my belt. Come on. Woo! I'm just saying, that was horrible, man. I'll never sing again. I don't even know what that means, man.
Have you ever had anybody sing live on your show?
I've never had anybody sing live on the show.
All right, I want everybody.
Here we go. Ken's going to sing. Oh, my goodness.
I want everybody to join me in this song.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Happy birthday
goodness.
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rob. Happy birthday to you.
Come on, man. Man, dude, come on, brother. Thank you for that. I've never had anybody play guitar and sing me happy birthday, but then two, our audience we've never had anybody on here play a song, Ken.
There you go.
That was good, man. Thank you.
I wrote that song years ago. You believe that?
Yeah, I just wish you would have copywrote it, man. We wouldn't be talking right now. Talk about we are where we are because of somebody else. You and I wouldn't be talking. You'd be somewhere. You'd be up in the big time, brother.
I'll be up there on top of that hill in my mansion.
I'll be on top of my hill putting in a golden good dip. I dip gold, brother. We're here this morning. Friends, we're just having fun. I appreciate you joining us here with Ken Covington of Ken's Guitars. He is our Wednesday co-host as we try to bring it to you every single morning here from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. as we're just trying to keep people entertained and having a lot of fun. Ken's got his bobblehead there. You can see it on your screen from when he was in the 3rd or 4th grade.
Yeah, my dad would take me to Astros baseball games, and it was fun. I was in more awe of the Astrodome. I mean, it was the first dome stadium ever built. And back then they called it the 8th wonder of the world. And I was in more awe. I'd look around and guys had a huge roof over it. And I was in more awe of the Astrodome than I was the baseball game itself, really, to tell you the truth.
Somebody broke into the Astrodome and they took pictures of it now, like today, because it's still there. It's just, but it's just, there's nothing in it. Somebody broke into the Astrodome, Ken, and Astrodome, they broke in and they took pictures of what the Astrodome looks like today. And they've utilized it, of course, for whenever they've had emergencies and things that people need. They've used it. But what I am going to do, if you're on Facebook Live, you get a special treat, as I'm going to share a Houston Chronicle article this morning on the comment section of what the Astrodome looks like today. What it looks like today, Ken, on the inside. Okay. And I just shared that article. It's from the Houston. Oh, Ken just had an accident. His phone just flipped over. I just shared.
I had it flat, but the battery was getting low, so I had to plug it in. So it's kind of
the battery's getting low, so you had to turn it upside down so it'd refill the battery.
Yeah, I got the wire kind of sitting. It's depending on the wire to kind of support it, but yeah.
Yeah, there were some photos here. A lot of storage inside the Astrodome. They still even have some of the Astro turf rolled up. There's a lot of the ticketing booths, when you walk in that counts for you. There is still a banner up there with an old school Coca-Cola logo and a Wells Fargo. Man, I'm going to tell you, if you were Wells Fargo or Coca-Cola and you had a big banner you sponsored to be in that Alamo Dome, you are getting your money's worth because those banners are still hanging up there.
Wow.
And there's just a few more photos showing a lot of the seats that have been tore out. Icon, Waste Management, Tyson. Man, the Tyson hot dog banner is still hanging up in there as well. I'm just looking through these this morning. This is pretty cool. Continental Airlines, Exxon. The Exxon logo is washed out. And then rolls and rolls of AstroTurf. It's kind of crazy to look at that. And then the screens that were in there, the screens are nothing like what we have today.
No.
They're nothing like what we have today.
When I was a kid, I was amazed at the screen, like the graphics they had. Of course, they weren't anything compared to now. I mean, the graphics they have on the scoreboard at Georgetown High School football stadium
are better than that. Yeah, we got a new screen up there now at Georgetown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the GISD Athletic Complex. It's pretty cool. So, well, hey, today, Ken, we got a few things for National Day of today. Today is National All Is how do you say it? Ours or ours? Ours? I've heard people. Today is National All Is Ours Day. Ours. That's how you say it when you're in country. Well, boys, I got to tell you, today is National All Is Ours Day. It's observed each year on April the 8th. National All Is Ours Day. That's hard to say that.
It is hard to say that.
Kind of important, though. It takes us along three views of appreciation. Either celebrate both approaches to the day or pick the one that best suits you. The first approach to this day, Ken, can be looked at as time to reflect on all the beauty of nature and all the wonderful things in life. This from NationalDayCalendar.com. Rarely do we have the time to explore all that nature offers us. Something as simple as the variety of birds that inhabit a local park or backyard can surprise us. You got to start reading it, like an old school preacher. That's how you got to read these articles.
Yeah.
What did I just say here? Let's see. Something as simple as the variety of birds that inhabit a local park or a backyard can surprise us. Venturing further out, we can discover our national parks or trail system, whether we look up to the skies or enjoy a closer look at new spring blooms. Taking in our surroundings is a spectacular gift to enjoy. That's the first way to celebrate it, Ken. Second way to celebrate National All Is Ours Day. National All Is Ours Day. Now I'm going to be so subconscious of that now. The second way to celebrate the day is by appreciating everything we have. We talk about that so much, friends, here on this show. Even when we don't have much, what we do have is a blessing. That's one of those words that you could really say it like you were preaching on Sunday, Ken. Even when we don't have much, what we do have is a blessing. The approach encourages continuing those blessings and avoiding thinking about the things we do not have. A third way to view this day is by sharing all that we have. Regardless of what we have, sharing it seems to make tough times easier when we all work together. The greatest times and the greatest things in life are those that are shared. I couldn't agree more. What a great day today that fits in.
I was going to say
perfectly.
that fits today's, with the coronavirus going around, kind of like fits the mood,
It is National All Is Ours Day. I just put the hashtag there on Facebook for everybody if you're on the Facebook live stream. Pretty awesome, man. That is one of the coolest this days that we've had yet. Now let's see what other ones we have today. I think today, it's National Empanada Day. Come on, baby, bring on the empanadas. I don't like empanadas, actually. I don't know why I got excited. Do you like those things?
What was it?
National Empanada Day. Empanada. It's National. It is a delicious pastry that comes in several different forms. The name empanada comes from the Galician, Portuguese, and Spanish verb empandar, meaning to wrap or coat in bread. Empanadas are made by folding the dough or bread around a seasoned stuffing. Ken, you're a seasoned stuffing. We can wrap you around an empanada.
Yeah,
we can just wrap you around it here. Yeah. The stuffed dough is then baked or fried. Now, we won't do that. Very much like hand pies, these delicious pastries offer a variety of choices. You can make your empanadas with meat, cheese, vegetables, or fruit fillings. However, they may be made with other ingredients, too. A cookbook published in 1520 in Catalan, the Libre del Cach by Reporto de Nola, mentions empanadas filled with seafood. Ugh. Well, that sounds like a po' boy sandwich, man.
Yeah.
If you've never had an empanada, you might be surprised just how versatile they are. Different parts of the United States make them with their own style and flavors, starting them in the southern and southwestern United States, where an empanada is called a Creole. The dish becomes a savory meal. Here, we're going to read this. We're going to get you excited about eating one of these, Ken. Here we go. There, they fill the half-circle flaky crust with seasoned pork, beef or chicken, and that delicious, runny, melting cheese. Oh, yeah.
That sounds good.
Head to the southeastern part of the country and empanadas transform. They don't have that southwesterny, tangy flavor anymore. Now they're a little more on the sweeter side. They fill these pastries with fresh or reconstituted dry fruit. Some choices include apples, apricots, peaches, or sweet potatoes. Once fried, the pies have a crispy outer shell with piping hot fruit inside.
Ooh-wee.
What do you think they make them in New Mexico? How do they make them in New Mexico, Ken?
They make them hot in New Mexico, I bet.
Further west in New Mexico, making empanadas for Christmas is a winter tradition. They make sweet meat. Now, look, sweet meat similar to mice meat. I almost read that as mice meat. That did not sound good.
Yeah.
Mince meat using ground pork, sugar, nuts, cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg. Everything is then salted in a tortilla-like dough and deep fried in lard. Come on, baby. Bring on the lard, baby. I don't think so, man. That is how many out there like empanadas? Let us know. We love you this morning. Hey, Ken, I wanted to mention here, we got a few more minutes. I wanted to mention, this is a serious note. If you are a business in need, I plug it every show, and I want those that are just joining us that maybe have not heard this, maybe you have heard it and you haven't taken a step of action. I want you to do something for me today. If you are a business and you need help, it's okay to ask. Fill out our form at hrngeorgetown.com/support. That is hrngeorgetown.com/support. Let us know what your needs are. We've had about 13 or 14 businesses so far. Out of those, about a third of them need financial resources. We are going to hold an auction in May, and we've got to get this underway soon because people are struggling and they're hurting right now, and we need to get them resources as soon as possible. So starting in May, we're going to hold an online auction. We've been blessed with almost $5,000 in auction items so far, but Ken, I'll be honest, we need a lot more. If you have items and you're able to donate any item, I don't care if it's a $15 gift certificate. If that's all you got, that is perfect. If you have an item that you would like to donate to the auction, visit hrngeorgetown.com/auction. So one more time, if you need support, it is hrngeorgetown.com/support. When we have that auction, only those that fill out that form are going to be eligible to receive benefits from that auction. So if you're a business owner or you know of a business owner who needs help, hrngeorgetown.com/support. If you are a person, and maybe you're a business owner too that says, I need help, but I also want to give help, or you're just an individual, or you're a business who doesn't need help, but you want to help, visit hrngeorgetown.com/auction to donate an item. please get those over to us. We've still got some time. We're going to continue to promote that throughout this week. And one final thing, if you are a business that is open right now and maybe you need some help, you're like, look, we're doing okay, but we're open. We just want people to know that we're open. Just visit hrngeorgetown.com. Wait, I'm going to say it again, Ken. Get ready. Can you sing that for me here in a minute?
Yeah.
So will you please visit hrngeorgetown. Ken didn't hear me. Ready?
I heard you.
Ready? Here we go. Yeah, you know what I'm doing.
Sorry.
So
I was writing down hrngeorgetown.com, believe it or not.
So if you, where was I going? If you're a business who is open, visit
hrngeorgetown.com
/open. That's fun, man. So if you're a business and you're open and you want people to know that you're open, we're going to start promoting that on the station. Friends, the station is more than just a Facebook live stream. We stream this audio to our app 24/7, 365. You're going to hear a really awesome blend of country, pop, and rock throughout the day. You're going to hear wonderful commercial sponsors who are helping to make this station possible. And then you are also going to hear news at the top of the hour. You're going to hear weather from our chief meteorologist, Paul Trombley. Now, Ken is the meteorologist on the morning show, but then Paul Trombley steps in. He's our chief meteorologist. And I don't know, Ken, I don't know how Paul does it. Paul Trombley works around the clock. He never sleeps. He gives us a weather update every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
He's just one of those people. Yeah, he doesn't need sleep.
He never sleeps, and for some reason, we don't even hardly pay him anything, and he's here 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
It's a system we use. It's a great system. But yeah, so we have our weather updates and our news updates. Make sure to join us because we want to keep you up to date. By the way, today at 1 p.m. on HRN Georgetown on the app as well. We'll also Facebook Live it. We will have our Wednesday press conference with Judge Bill Gravel with the latest regarding Williamson County and the COVID-19 pandemic. Ken, time now, 9:01 a.m. Final thoughts from you, brother. We've had fun again this morning. It always goes so fast.
It's been fun. And let's just keep on, keeping our social distance. Like you and I, usually we're in the same room together, but, we're just being safe. And whenever somebody comes in my store, we keep our distance. Everybody knows, you keep your distance. So,
little known fact here, people don't know that we're roommates, Ken, and you're actually in the room right next to me, and I'm in the other room. That's how we're doing the show this morning, to practice. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Well, Ken,
you don't live too far from me, though.
Ken, wanted to give you an opportunity here, of course, with Ken's Guitars, your business. How can people find you? What do you need help with right now, buddy? How can we help you?
Well, if I am open by appointment only, so if you need you can send me an email, kensguitars@yahoo.com. That's KENZ, kensguitars@yahoo.com.
Wait, can you say Ken's Guitars, and then I'll do the last part of it for you now?
There you go.
Ready?
You can reach me at Kenz Guitars, KENZ Guitars.com. Not bad. That was good. Or you can call me at 512-869-8064 and leave me a message at the store there. And I've been getting a lot of phone calls. I mean, I was there yesterday for 6 hours. I couldn't believe how many people needed things,
869-8064, is that the number?
Uh-huh.
Call 869-8064. That's the number to Ken's Guitar Store. Oh, yeah. Call right now. Don't delay. Call today. Well, Ken, I appreciate you, man.
I've been able to watch Hee Haw is a totally corny show. But I watch it because I used to watch it as a kid and all the little jingles they had. One of them was a car dealership. They would go their phone number was BR549.
That was way back in the day.
That was way before your time, I think.
My grandmother has a phone book, and I've got to dig it up. And I hope she didn't get rid of it. That has the original Georgetown phone numbers in it. And Ken, some of those phone numbers are like 3- and 4-digit numbers, but there was even letters on some of those phone numbers back in the day, baby. Come on with it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to say hello to everybody real quick on our morning show. To all of those that have joined us this morning, we had a lot of folks join us. Miss Angela Pinkerton, thank you. Vicky joined us. Good morning to you, Vicky. Michael Price, what's up, big dog? What's up, Mike? Hoo, hoo, hoo. I don't even know why I did that, but Michael, thank you for joining us. I didn't get a chance, so I just want to give him a quick shout out here, Ken. Thank you to those guys, Jack Dixon, Brett Blackwell, Salinas Romy. Good morning to you. Kristen Best. I wanted to say hello to Julie earlier. Appreciate you, Kristen. Thank y'all for joining us so much. A lot of other folks. Miss Joanne Ishii, good morning to you. Faith Ann, good morning, Faith. Hope you are doing well. Shelly Rodiker joining us. Good morning to you, Shelly. And a lot of folks, Chris Sanchez, Nick Austin, who we had on our show just this week. Good to hear from you, Nick. And Jose Franco joining us. Good morning, my friend. Just scrolling through real quick. Emily Hamilton, good morning. Thank you for the birthday wish, Emily. You guys are amazing. We had her on the show. And just appreciate her. Thank you, Emily. And Miss Kim Stout. Martin Strange saying that he is from Chile. His girlfriend is from Texas, but she moved here a year ago, and we really love empanadas. So we're going to send greetings for Chile this morning. Good morning, Chile. Good morning from Georgetown, Texas. Ken, it's been a fun morning. Final comments from you, brother, before we sign off today.
I think that's, gosh, I don't know. I appreciate you having me this morning, and yeah, we'll do this day in history, and also things found in Ken's bedroom, like a bobblehead. You know, it's kind of interesting stuff. It's, gosh, I can't believe he's still like baubles. You know, it's kind of cool. So
Ken has a bobblehead, friends. Well, friends, as always, thanks for being part of this show. The show made possible in part by the Oak Ridge Disciple House, a 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry, helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. Please visit them online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Thank you, Josh, for your support. Josh also saying good morning to us. Wanted to remind you as well, on Friday, Ken, we've got a format going here on the show now. On Friday, it's our HRN virtual dance party, baby. You got to dance with us. Mr. Michael Price has been tearing it up, and they've been putting together some amazing videos, having fun. Carlos Hernandez and his wonderful wife joining us last week, and their children. We also had several other folks, almost 100 people actually listening to that show. This show this week is sponsored in part by the Georgetown Beard Club. If your business would like to have some promotion, it's only $50. We have 5 spots remaining. It is the HRN Virtual Dance Party on Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Grab your children. Ken, clear out the living room. We're going to dance,
baby.
What a
great idea. What a great idea.
That was all brought by Judge McLean, so this will be our 3rd week in a row. And then, Ken, I'm excited about this, and we're going to have you on for this sometime. I don't know how we're going to work this in, but I am starting an all-new show on Saturdays at noon. It's going to start out as a 1-hour show, and if you're a country music fan, it's American Country Gold.
There you go.
Right here exclusively on Hip Radio Network. You've got to download the app, or you can listen online at hrngeorgetown.com/listen. Ken, love you, man. It's good to see you, buddy. I'm glad we're able to do this.
Appreciate you.
All right, guys.
Yeah, it's fun.
We're going to sign her off here. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. If you're on the app, keep listening because we got music and more. We've also got news coming right up. This is Hip Radio Network Georgetown. It's Good Morning Georgetown. Thank you, Ken, for being with us today, my friend. And wanted to remind everybody out there that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there today needs you. Good morning, Georgetown, and God bless. We'll see you right back here tomorrow, bright and early, 7 a.m. Have a great day, everyone.